Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Abeel Ahmed from Abeel School of Accountancy, your P6 Advanced Taxation lecturer. Variant of P6 which we are going to study, that is UK. So let us first discuss paper pattern, then I'll be discussing what are the main areas in P6 where you need to focus in order to pass this paper. And we'll be discussing also what is the proportion of calculation in exams and theoretical area. What is the proportion of calculation in theory as well. So P6, that is Advanced Taxation. Let us first discuss the paper pattern. In paper pattern we have section A for 60 marks. In section A we have 60 marks, question 1, 35 marks, and question 2, 25 marks. Section B, question 3 and question 4, both are 20 marks each. 20 marks and 20. And there is no choice in P6. In fact, definitely everybody is having the information of this thing. In all the professional papers, there is no choice. There is only one choice, that there is no choice. Now, let us discuss what is the proportion of calculation in theory in the paper. So, to be very honest with you, you must be ready for theoretical area, I would say, in your exam is 60 to 65 marks. So 60 to 65% of your paper is theoretical. That is, to be very honest. So 60 to 65% of the paper is theoretical. It means when it comes to calc, if it can vary from 40 to 35. That's it. That's just to be very honest with you. But I can add one more thing. I want to add one thing over here. The theoretical area of P6 and the calculation part of P6. Basically, what happens? It is just on the will of the examiner. He can ask the same thing in numerics as well as he can test the same thing in theoretical way also. The theoretical area which comes in your P6 exam, the theory of P6, all the theory of P6 is rule based. If you know the rules very well, you can easily answer the questions. But if you don't know the rules very well, obviously then you will find problems in answering the question in exams especially. So all you need is, number one, to understand the rules. Second, you have to memorize them also. So there are two steps. Step one is the understandability. You have to develop the understandability of rules. And step two is you have to memorize them. If you're not memorizing the rules, then obviously there's no benefit. Because what happens in exams, in P6 most of the time you will be a tax senior. And people will be bringing their taxation problems in front of you and they will be asking different advices from you. How can you advise without knowing the rules of taxation? So it means step one is you need to understand the rules. Second is you need to memorize the rule also. There is no any theory in P6 which comes in exams which challenges you in a way that you have to think and write. There is no such thing, think and write. I would say 99% the theory which comes in exam, that is rule-based theory. So if you have a really good grip on rules, then theoretical area will not disturb you at all. Now, let us go ahead. What would be my way of teaching you? Because P6 demands extensive practicing of the question. This is not the paper which you can pass without having a really extensive practice of practicing the questions. So you need to practice a lots of questions. So let me tell you something relating to the question. Inshallah, in P6 our target is 200 plus question. This plus could be 201, it could be 202, it could be 203, whatever it is. But inshallah, I'm going to discuss 200 plus question with you. And I strongly believe discussion of 200 plus questions in the class with you people, inshallah, will make you in a position, will bring you in a position where you can pass this paper very easily. Out of that 200 plus question, at least I'll be discussing 10 past papers with you. And I'm saying at least. It means if you people show me if you people come up with more and more interest in P6, then I don't mind to go for beyond 10 past papers. So lots of my own questions, my own examples will be included in these 200 questions. But at least I'm committing 10 recent past papers we are going to discuss. But again and again I'm saying at least. It means there are chances we can go even over and above 10 past papers. Now let me discuss the syllabus of P6. Actually in P6 we have 5 main areas. If you have a really good grip on that 5 main areas, obviously you cannot fail in P6. What are that 5 main areas on which we need to focus in order to pass P6? Number one is individuals taxation. The one area out of that 5 is individuals taxation. We need to understand how do individuals they pay tax in UK, and what are the tax planning opportunities which are available to individuals. If an individual is running his or her own business, how he or she is going to pay tax. So first area we'll be studying relating to individuals. For example, someone is working, so he or she is generating, that individual person is generating employment income, how to pay tax on employment income. If someone is earning from properties, so how to pay tax on property income. If someone is a partner in a partnership firm, then how to pay tax if you are receiving a profit from the partnership firm. If someone is running his own business, then how to pay tax on sole tradership. If a business is having a loss in the business, how to utilize those losses efficiently. All these things we'll be learning inshallah in individual taxations, and lots of more things also. Second area is CGT, capital gain tax. Extremely important. So we'll be studying capital gain tax as well. Third is IHT, inheritance tax. What if someone is getting assets, piece of land from, let's say, from his parents? So if you're getting something in inheritance, then how you are going to pay tax on that assets which you have got in inheritance? We'll be learning that also. And normally in P6 what happens? One question definitely comes in CGT and IHT together. Because most of the students, what do? They just get confused in CGT and IHT. So therefore it has become one of the favorite areas of our examiner to set a question on CGT and IHT together. So we'll be studying both of them inshallah. In fact, when it comes to capital gain tax, we'll be studying in 2 different ways. First, we'll be studying CGT from individual perspective. Then later on, inshallah, we are going to study CGT from company's perspective also. But obviously, when it comes to IHT, it only belongs to individuals. Organization cannot have IHT. Fourth, that is VAT, value added tax. Fifth is corporation tax. Corporation tax. So if you have a really good command on these 5 areas, then definitely I can guarantee you cannot fail in P6. But obviously these 5 areas are the entire syllabus of P6 as well. No doubt about it. Yes. What will be our way of studying? The sequence which I have written over here, we will follow this sequence strictly. And whatever topic I am going to discuss with you people, whatever topic I am going to start, I will be starting from scratch. Keeping in my mind that nobody has ever studied taxation before. So in this way it becomes easy for me to explain you. So I'll be teaching everything to you people from scratch. So we are starting right now P6 from individuals, but instead of going for any specific topic right now, I'll be just discussing few things, then slowly and gradually I'll come on a particular topic as well. But let me start from a very basic. The first thing is, if somebody asks us a question is, what is a taxation? If somebody asks you a question, what do you mean by taxation? The answer is, tax is a source of revenue for the government. Repeat. Tax is a source of revenue for the government. Next question. Why do governments, they charge tax? First question was, what is taxation? And I answered that. Tax is a source of revenue for the government. Now the second question arises, why do governments, they charge tax? The answer to this question is, governments, they do charge tax to rich people, to wealthy people, so that government can use that funds on poor people. So that government can use that funds for the welfare of other peoples, those they don't have enough funds, those they are not very rich. And another objective of charging the tax is distribution of wealth also. Basically what is happening, government is charging the tax to rich people, and then government is actually distributing that amount to poor people in a way that government is spending money for the welfare of its people. So I hope now you have understood what is tax and why government charges tax. Charging tax means government trying to distribute the wealth of rich people among those people they are not earning good enough amount, which are not rich. Those they are not rich. Okay. Now let's start for P6 from individuals. When it comes to individuals, you need to remember one thing. Individuals in UK, they pay tax according to tax year. Repeat. Individual in UK, they pay tax according to tax year. In UK, tax year, fiscal year starts from 6th April of any year, ends at next 5th April. For example, if I write 6th April 2018, then it's going to end at 5th April 2019. If I write 6th April 2019, then it's going to end at 6th April 2020. Okay. For you and me, the relevant tax year is 1890. 1819 means the fiscal year, tax year will start from 6 April 18 and it's going to end at 5th April 19. Actually, the Finance Act, which we are going to study, Finance Act, we'll be inshallah studying Finance Act 2018. Even though we are in 2019, but we are going to study Finance Act of 2018. Basically, what happens in UK, we study Finance Act of one previous year. So in 2019, we'll be studying Finance Act of 2018, which is applicable on how many attempts? Let me clarify that also. This Finance Act, which we are going to study, is applicable on first attempt 6 April 2019, 30th September 2019, even 31st December 2019 and last 31st March 2020. It means that Finance Act 2018, if you are studying Finance Act 2018, so it is applicable on June 19, September 19, December 19 and March 20. Now let's go ahead. When it comes to individuals, individuals have different heads of income. Repeat. Individuals, they have different heads of income. Number one is non-saving. Second is saving income, savings income, and the last one is dividend income. We will start from non-saving incomes, then slowly and gradually we will be studying saving income as well as dividend income. Let me give you the examples of non-saving incomes. Non-savings income. First example of non-saving income is employment income. Employment income. It is possible that you might be thinking one question. You may be thinking one question. Why do we need to categorize incomes in non-saving, saving and dividend? Repeat, if any one of you are thinking, why do we need to categorize non-saving income, saving income and dividend income? The reason of this categorization is actually the rules are different for non-saving incomes, how to pay tax, and the tax rates are different for non-saving income and tax rates are different for saving income and as well as tax rates are different for dividend income. Since the tax rates are different, rules are different, therefore we have to categorize your income. We need to find it out, we need to identify the income which you have earned. It is from non-saving income, saving income, or last one is dividend income. So according to the source of income, we will use those taxation rules. So non-saving income, first example is employment income. Another example let me give you, that is property income. Property income also falls in non-saving income. Third, sole tradership. If you are running your own business, then whatever profit you are earning, that is also non-saving income. Income from partnership falls in non-saving income. Even your pension income falls in non-saving income. So there are other also, so what I am writing, etc., etc. So these are just few examples of non-saving incomes. Next. Now we need to learn how do people pay tax in UK. But first we will be learning how do we pay tax on non-saving incomes. The first thing is we need to learn the tax rates which will be given to you in exams. But obviously application of those tax rates you must be having the knowledge of the application as well. Let me write the tax rate for you. These tax rates are, let me write a heading for non-saving incomes. These tax rates are for non-saving saving incomes. That is from 1 till 34,500. That is, we say basic rate band, basic, let me write completely, basic rate band starts from 1 to 34,500. Tax rate is 20%. Higher rate band, it's not band, it's band. Higher rate band, that is 34,501 till 150. The tax rate is 40%. You can see one thing very clearly, that higher rate band is not starting from first pound. It is starting from 34,501. After that comes additional rate. There is no limit in additional rate, simply 1,50,001 plus above. Then tax rate is 45%. So this is the sequence of non-saving incomes tax rates. Basic rate band, higher rate band and additional rate band. Now we need to learn how to utilize these bands. Let us see. Let us see a question. For example, Mr. X is having an employment income of 60,000. That's it. And you are required to calculate tax liability. You are required to calculate tax liability. So how to calculate tax liability? First, it is an employment income is a non-saving income. So while solving the question, you have to give a heading of non-savings income. Then I'm writing employment income. Employment income is 70,000. You are not supposed to pay tax on the entire 70,000 in UK. UK tax authorities, that is we call it HMRC, will give you a personal allowance. Personal allowance is 11,850, which means that any income in UK which is over and above 11,850, only on that income you are supposed to pay tax. Repeat. You will be only paying tax on the income which is over and above 11,850, that is personal allowance. Which means that if someone is generating in the entire tax year less than or equal to 11,850, then that individual is not supposed to pay any tax, because his entire earnings are less than equal to personal allowance. But in this case, obviously the income is far more than personal allowance. So let us deduct 70,000 minus 11,850. The answer comes 58,150. We say this is a taxable income. What is the name of this answer? This is a taxable income. If 58,150 is a taxable income, then obviously we have to pay tax on this taxable income. So the question arises over here is how to pay tax, how to calculate tax. Let me show you that also. You have to just put a heading over here, income tax, because we are calculating now tax, income tax. Then you have to write basic rate band, BRB. Then in the bracket you have to write non-saving. You have to mention the name of the source of income also. So basic rate band, non-saving, 34,500, 20%. Because first 34,500 will be taxed at 20%, which comes to, if we take 20% of 34,500, the answer is 6,900. So basic rate band we have fully utilized, but still this taxable income is obviously higher than basic rate band. So we have to go towards higher rate band also. Higher rate band, non-saving income, what you need to do? Now you will have to deduct 34,500 from 58,150. 58,150 minus 34,500. The answer comes 23,000. Answer comes 23,650. We have to take 40% of this amount. If I take 40% of this amount, then it is 9,460 plus 6,900, 16,360. This is your income tax liability, pure and simple. Let us practice one more question so that you should be having a really good idea of this income tax, how to calculate income tax liability. One more question. Assuming Mr. X is having employment income of 60,000 and Mr. X is having, let's say, property income of 20,000. Repeat. Mr. X is having employment income of 60, property income of 20,000. Required, you just need to calculate tax liability. Let us solve this question. How would you solve this question? First you need to write non-saving incomes. Because these both are non-saving incomes, so we have to write non-saving incomes. Number one is employment income, so let us write employment income over here. Then 60,000. After that, property income is also a part of non-saving income. 20,000. If we add both of them, 60 and 20, we'll get 80,000. That is total income. Out of that total income, you have to deduct personal allowance, 11,850, as we have discussed earlier. Only on that income you have to pay tax, which is over and above the personal allowance. If someone is having income less than equal to personal allowance, that person will not pay any tax. So after deducting personal allowance, the answer is 68,150. That is, we say, taxable income. This is our taxable income. 68,150 is a taxable income. So how you are going to tax? Plus one more thing. Look at the amount of this taxable income. It is far more higher than your basic rate band. It means some of the part of 68,150 will definitely fall in higher rate band also. This is not the amount which can entirely come in basic rate band. So till 34,500 will be using a basic rate band, but obviously one part of 68,150 is going to fall in higher rate band also. So first the heading of income tax, because we are calculating income tax. Then basic rate band. Then in the bracket non-saving, 34,500, then 20%. It comes to 6,900. Higher rate band, again non-saving, 68,150. Let me deduct 34,500. The answer coming is 33,650. We will take 40% of this amount. 40% of this amount is 13,460. So here comes our final answer, that is income tax liability. 6,900. So total amount is 6,900 plus 13,460. So your final answer is 20,360. So that was all about today's lecture. I hope you have liked this lecture. One more thing, let me add, the way of teaching would be, in P6 we will be having one, I'm going to have one WhatsApp group with you people also. If in any lecture, in any question you have any problem, you can ask the question in WhatsApp group. And normally in WhatsApp group, what do? I normally reply in voice messages rather than replying by writing, but sometimes I do write also. But most of the time I answer in voice messages because I believe when teacher explains you something or replies you in voice messages, then there is more clarity. So if you have any problem, any question in any video lecture, any of the video lectures, and any question, all you need is you need to ask on WhatsApp group. Inshallah, I'm going to reply. Obviously, sometimes I do take time because of my classes. It is possible that you have asked a question and I'm replying it after 8 hours or 10 hours. But one thing is for sure, whenever you are going to ask the question, then it means your job is done. Then it is my liability. I have to answer. So don't worry about that. So that's it. And if you have any question, you can ask. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.